Hey everybody, David here. Um, not very comfortable in front of the camera, so you know that whenever I have my camera on, something important. At least for me, it's important. Listen, I am creating my own video game, along with a friend of mine. He's also helping out a little bit, and I decided to share some of my details with you guys. Um, I don't know if I put this in the intro of like the channel, not the video, but I remember stating in either the about me or the intro that this channel will also focus on projects that I do, whether they be film projects or gaming projects. I am in a film school, so there will also be film projects that will be up, whether it's other interviews like the one that I did, or short films. I have a short film on the horizon, so be on the lookout for that. But right now, let's focus on the game. Um, I didn't really think of much. It was just a lot of storyboarding, a lot of like the how's it's and what's it, pretty much. Um, so yeah, the game is called Prophesized. Like a prophecy, prophesized. So yeah, the name is Prophesized. I've just been storyboarding, writing all the details, details. There we go. Writing all the details and stuff. So I'm just decided to share it with you guys, as a small little update. The first thing you ought to know is the game is called Prophesized. It's a survival horror MMORPG. At least that is what we are shooting for. I know that's very ambitious, especially for someone that's never made a game before. Um, yeah, it's very ambitious, but I have big dreams and I want to go for them. I want to shoot for the moon and shoot further. Uh, it's set in a country that I created called Cerebrin. It's Cerbrin. Sorry, I still have to think about these things myself. Um, it is a class-based game, so think of like Destiny, something like that. You have to choose a class, then create a character, then go on and do a story type thing. It's an open world. That's what we're shooting for, anyways, but with a linear story. It's like a chapter system. So the base game, think of it like a book, and each thing you do, like each main quest, would be the chapter. It will hopefully, again, this is all speculation, but we are going to be trying to shoot for this. It will have PvP, dungeons. You get to create your own guild and do guild quests. There is an area called the Dead Zones, which I will get into a little bit later, and obviously boss encounters. That's also something I'm gonna get into in just a bit. Um, it's 5 people per regiment per party, so you can play with up to 4 of your friends. So it'll be you and your 4 of your friends. There are 2 type of PvPs. Let's actually go right into that right now. There is the Crusade, which is a 12v12 like capture the point type of deal. It's 2 teams of 12 going head on head. One team is defending a city, while the other team goes in and tries to take the city from them. Their main target, though, is to either defend the church or for the attacking team to attack the church. The other PvP aspect that we have is All War. It's a 50v50 5-way, so 250 people on the battlefield. Like I said, I know it's ambitious, but we're shooting for the moon and shooting further. It's a 50v50 5-way war on a battlefield. The objective is to survive and secure points of interest. But the thing is, you can do quests in this PvP, the all war area. That way, you can do quests for your secure point. Do quests for the citizens in those small little towns, to a point where if you get enough renown, love with a certain city, if it gets captured by the enemy team, you have a chance of causing a revolution, have an uprising, have the citizens help you take back the city. Like I'm gonna be saying this a lot. That is very ambitious, and I'm well aware. But like I said, I'm gonna keep saying it again. We're shooting for the moon, and shooting further. But yeah, that's the PvP that we've come up for right now. It's Crusades and All War Crusader the 12v12 and All War is the 50v50 5-way. Let's go back to the start. The weapon and gear scaling and rarity. So there is 9 different types of rarity in the game. And like I know that's usually not like a normal number. It's usually anywhere from 5 to 6. Most games having 5, Destiny having 6. But we're going with the main route, you know, common, uncommon, rare, epic, legendary. But then we also have prismatic, guardian, godlike, and miracle. So prismatic is the best gear possible that you can get terrestrially, like doing just regular missions. Guardian you can only get from guardian bosses, and then godlike you can only get from god bosses. So those are random drops that can happen. And then miracle is what you get from a dead zone, which I will explain that in just a bit. Like I said, guardian, it's just like any other weapon that has the drop rate or armor that has a drop rate. You're not going to get it 100% of the time, but you can keep grinding. That's what the boss encounters are for. So you can redo a certain boss without having to redo the entire quest. Because me playing something and like I want to kill a boss, but I have to do the whole thing again, that's kind of annoying sometimes. So we're going to try and do it so where like you can fight the boss of a quest. Like you could do the quest, fight the boss, and then say you didn't get what you wanted. Well, who cares? Now you can redo the boss. The thing is, though, with boss encounters, the boss is slightly harder to beat now. So, for example, if it's a level 10 boss that you want to try and farm again, if you go through a boss encounter, it might be level 30, might be level 20, something like that. It's scaled up because you're just fighting the boss now. You're not going through all the tedious tasks of getting up to the boss. It's just the boss. But yeah, so guardian people or guardian bosses drop guardian rarity loot, and it could be a full set of armor. So there will be guardian headpieces, cuirasses, greaves, all types. But there will also be one type in each category for a weapon drop too. So there'll be a guardian shield, a guardian melee weapon, and a guardian ranged weapon. So you can always try and collect everything. Godlike is the same deal, but instead of it being a guardian type enemy, it's a god type enemy. And you can get them from killing either gods, kind of in the name, a god defiler, which is someone who basically killed a god and took their throne, or a witch god, which is someone who has gained the power and ascended into godlikehood. And then miracle. Let's actually skip over to dead zone real quick. Okay, dead zoning takes you to a different place around the country, around Cerebrin. It's hordes. It's just hordes of enemies coming at you until you stop, until you say, listen, I've had enough. So yeah, you're just killing hordes. The more hordes you clear, obviously the better loot you get, but also the harder it becomes. Dead loot is good for farming XP and up to prismatic rarity gear. So if you want, you can start the game, do the tutorial, and go straight into dead zoning. Wouldn't recommend it. But yeah, you could definitely just go straight into dead zoning. You know, just grind that out, get XP, get your prismatics, you know, everything that you need. Every 10th wave, a mini boss will appear, and that mini boss has a chance of dropping a miracle key. See, this is what I said, the miracle rarity loot. The chances of it dropping a key, you know, at 10th horde, the 10th level of the horde, you know, it's probably like at 2%. It could drop by the 20th, 4%. So it'll just go up in 2% intervals until you get to 100% or until it drops. Those miracle keys can be taken to a room of miracles where you can open up a chest and you have a chance of getting miracle loot. Excuse me, sorry. Miracle loot isn't a 100% drop, but if you get it, it's perfect for dead zoning. It'll have certain enchantments that are, you know, built for dead zoning. Like you might have a gauntlet that you know, every kill or every like 5 kills you get with the melee weapon, creates like a aura of darkness, killing anything in its path, or something like that, something along those lines. Um, like I said, but miracle weapons and miracle gear itself can be used in other type of scenarios, PvE and PvP, but it's more built for dead zoning. But you can obviously use it in PvP and PvE, whatever you want. Let's go back to the start. Where was I? Get out the miracle. Now, I plan on doing a season pass type of deal. So obviously, $10 for the season pass. That's pretty standard. The season pass will drop every 90 days. So every quarter of the year, basically. It'll provide, this is what I'm planning. It'll provide 2 Guardian rarity gear and 1 Godlike. And season pass owners will also unlock an exclusive dungeon just for season pass owners that has the chances of dropping the same type of gear that you get from the pass. So say you wanted to get like 2 of the same godlike weapons, so you can like dual wield it or something. Well, that's your chance. You do that dungeon until you get that second godlike weapon. You want to dual wield it? Go ahead. Go right ahead. Nothing's stopping you. I already have the names of these seasons, like the name of the seasons that are coming up. Each season will also have a 5 to 15 chapter storyline that will have you do some quests for the story itself, for the season itself. The seasons go as follows: 1 through 4, New Beginnings, Sworn Oath, Searing Madness, and Broken Oath. Now, 2 and 4 do continue a certain story, but not every season pass will continue a story. Some are just gonna be their own little contained little story. Now, actually, before I do anything else, let me skip over a little bit to right around here. After the 4th season. So after the 4th season, usually you'd get into a small little reset, or, you get ready for the next DLC or the next chapter or whatever that's going to drop. So it's kind of like that for us. After the 4th season, you'll have 1 month of a respite, so you just get to chill and do whatever. But during that 1 month, we'll be releasing a in-game festival that you can participate in. If you didn't own the pass, that is okay. In this festival, you can do whatever you want. It is free reign for people without the pass too. It gives you a brand new quest line, a small quest line, like 3 chapters long, and it just gives you gear, and you could keep farming it until you don't want to no more. It's called the Festival of Closure. It'll be there every month after the 4th season, so close off that book, basically close off that, and start a new book. And everyone during these small quests have a chance of earning prismatic and even a rare chance of getting Guardian rarity loot. Alright, let me skip forward a little bit more. Back. Okay, the dungeons. Dungeons are a 5-person activity in which you delve into an unknown or unexplored part of Cerebin to find untold riches. It's pretty self-explanatory. Most dungeons, delves, raids, or whatever you want to call it in most video games like this, it's pretty much the same thing. Go to a place, kill some things, kill the boss, and repeat. It's basically the same things. Dungeons are a wonderful place to get prismatic, guardian, and godlike loot, because dungeons will always have a guardian or a godlike enemy at the end of the dungeon guarding it. Always. Guild and guild questing. This is my personal favorite. So guilds, once you hit level 5, like your character level 5, you can then enter the Adventurers Guild. But once you hit Adventurer level 10 within the Adventurers Guild, you have the opportunity to create your own guild. If you create your own guild, obviously your adventurer rank will go back down to 0, but you get the opportunity to create your own guild and go on your own guild quest, earning 90% of whatever you earn. Because in an adventurers guild made by the game, or by us in this instant, you would only be earning 45% of the stuff that you've gotten. While in your own guild, you earn 90%. The other 10 goes into the guild itself to, upgrade it. However, you get to actually build, like, again, ambitious, I know, but hear me out. You get to build your own guild hall however you want. If you want it to be a 10-story high building, okay, maybe not 10 stories, but you understand what I'm trying to say. You get to build your own guild hall at however you want. Um, Guild quests, you can take up to 6 other guild members, because guild quests will be a lot harder than most dungeons. I will, at least towards the end of it, like once you level up your guild to about 50, 60, 70, 80 up there, then yeah, you'll be getting harder quests. But like low 30s and below, you could probably just do it with one friend and you're good. But guild questing, is a good way to also get prismatic and godlike, not or prismatic and guardian, not godlike, because there would not be no gods. But guardians and prismatic is a guarantee that they can drop. Let's skip around a little bit. Okay, the main quest storyline that we have is very linear, but it's an open world, so you can do whatever you want. But then you could come back to the main quest also whenever. If you want, you could buy a farm, start a farm, sell produce, whatever. Just do whatever you want, have your own life. But then you can come to the main quest whenever. Most games are like that, but it's a little bit different when the actual quests go on a chapter system instead of like a completion system. If you understand what I'm trying to say. I know it's kind of weird. I don't even understand half the things I say. But the chapters go as followed. Names are not final. They can change whenever. But as of right now, these are the names that we have. From 1 to 35, it goes like Master of Nothing, The Falling Feather, The Pale Plague, An Unilluminated World, Kingslayer, The Defiled, The Book of Nightmare and Storms, The Severance of Souls, Freedom, Blessed Be the Damned, Forge Bonds, Reflect on Thee, Witch God, Temple of Light, and Introduction, Clarity, Dragon of Dreams, Realm of Shadows, or Realm of Sorrows, sorry, An Army of Feathers, Ceremony, When One Door Closes, Iphios, The Fall of Acreus, Pillars of Blood, Mountain of Destruction, Guardian of Damnation, All Good Things, Lies, Truth, Ideals, Song of Demons, Infernal Guardian, No More Light, A World Eclipse, The Banished One Part 1, The Darkened Ones, I Pledge My Sword, Transcendence, and then The Banished One Part 2. Like I said, the names are not final. They can change at any given moment. But like I said, as of right now, those are the names. Next off is the classes. There's six different classes. I'm sorry, I had a brain moment. There is the Soul Renderer, which can heal people, buff people, seal people's ability wave for a moment, and stitch souls together to either create AoE effects or crit opportunities. So healing, buffing, and sealing is kind of self-explanatory. Let me explain the stitching a little better. So with stitching, you can stitch, the souls of people together. If it's an enemy, you can stitch them together to create an area of effect type of deal where you just have to attack one and it attacks all of them. Or with yourself, you can stitch yourself to your teammate so you can just heal yourself and then heal all your teammates as well. Same thing, if you just want to target one person with the stitching, you stitch that one person, you condense their soul, making it smaller, and then you just attack them, and it creates a crit opportunity, doing more damage. I know that's a little harder to get your head around, because I don't think that's been done in a game. But like I said, we're gonna try. Next off is the Tempered. The Tempered is just a tank. They have protection spells. Their protection spells have an elemental ability of their choosing, and they have the passive ability to create better gear. So when they're creating gear, they have a chance of it automatically becoming rare, legendary, or whatever. It can't get up to prismatic though, but legendary it can get up to, and it has also a chance of randomly getting an enchantment once it's created too. Tempers are good if you're trying to create armor. Then there's the scribe. And the scribe can create magical circles that amplify any abilities going to out of it, creating more, damage. And it can also write out magical incantations in the air. So it can do, it can also attack. Thing is with the magical incantations, if you were to start writing it, you can cut it off whenever and still do the damage, but it won't do as much. If you write out the entire incantation, it might take longer, but it might be worth it because you will do the max damage. So it's something you just got to think of, like, damn, I'm in a situation that I could probably try and get off the max incantation, but my team might need me a little bit sooner. So do I just do half and then amplify, or do I just go for the full? Like, you got to think about these things. Next class is the Light Bearer. It's just a simple paladin. They have two different skill trees: Sovereign Light and Devastating Light. Sovereign Light just heals them and their allies, but can also knock back undead. And then Devastating Light burns enemies, deals extra damage to undead. Light Bearers have a passive ability that they cannot get infected by vampirism or lycanthropy. I don't know. The other class is the Far Seeker. They have 3 different skill trees: Survival of the Fittest, Harmonic Symphony, and Arrow Play. Survival of the Fittest is just, surviving. It's the basics. Where to find good water, good fruit. Look at these tracks. Where do they lead? What animal is it? Something like that. Harmonic Symphony is the ability to control nature by music. So think of like a druidic bard. I don't know if that makes any sense. If anyone plays D&D or knows like basic stuff like that, then you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, you can control nature, like the wind, the trees, the plants, whatever, by music. Then there's arrow play, which is just different spells with different types of arrows. You can have, an arrow that actively seeks someone, like Yondu's arrow in Guardians of the Galaxy. Something like that. And last one is the Shadow Whisperer. Shadow Whisperer has 3 skill trees: Shadow Veil, Shadow Assault, and Shadow Puppet. Shadow Veil creates different shapes, so there will be different shapes that you can create to defend. Shadow Assault creates different types of weaponry or different types of like assaulting methods out of shadows to, attack. And then Shadow Puppets just creates an enthralled shadow to attack or defend. Let's jump around a bit. But we don't gotta jump around. We can just go right into this. Boss encounters. I was trying to explain this earlier. Boss encounters let you fight an enemy that you've already fought before, and a boss, without having to redo the quest at all. Oh yeah, it'll be a lot. The battle will be a lot harder because the boss will be having. It'll be significantly stronger. Like I said, level 10 boss might be level 30. A regiment or a party. Depending on what you're doing, the party system might fluctuate. Main story, dungeons, dead zones, and boss encounters are all 5 people max, while guild quest is up to 7 guild members. Crusades are 12 teammates, all wars 50, and world events are however many people are there present at that moment. Let's go into world events now. World events are events that take place in the overworld, so the world that you just walk in. It could be from a random boss to, a random horde invasion to, who knows what I'm gonna do. But it's basically just you dealing with something and you getting something better in return for it. If you ever played, do I know of a game? If you ever played Elder Scrolls Online, those anchors, those are a good example. Or those world bosses that are just roaming around. Not even roaming, they're stationary. But they roam in their little area. It's something like that. Let's talk about the country, Cerebrin, actually. Cerebrin is the country in which this game takes place. The capital of Acreus, and the other cities. You know, I'm not gonna name them all because I actually made the map and it's huge. But just to name a few, Aetera, Erus, Erut, Grosdrius, Chaperon, Lestrin, Eumalios, Aemus, Obrix, Facura. You know, the list goes on. I don't want to name them all because there's quite a bit. And this is just, I didn't even write. You see? Right there, right there. I didn't even write them all. I just wrote whatever I could fit on the page. But yeah, that's it with this notebook. Now off the dome. An expected release date. We're still in the storyboarding phase, so don't expect it anytime soon. We are a very, very small team. It's me and maybe like 3 other friends. So don't expect it anytime soon. The earliest I can probably try and guarantee the earliest is first quarter 2025. That's the earliest. But the latest, like third quarter 2027, that's probably the latest. Yeah, like I said, we're a small team. We barely know what we're doing. Me and one other friend are the only ones with like game making knowledge. Um, so yeah, it'll be an interesting project that we have. What else? The map. Um, I'm gonna just see if I can just pop up a few images. Not that good at editing, but ooh, it should pop up. Maybe. Um, if it doesn't pop up, then I just made myself look stupid. But who cares? Um, like I was saying, um, if you want to help, and you know you think you can help out, you have a good imagination, you know, feel free to leave down in the comments that you want to help. This is something that you want to do. We'll actively take all the help we can get. This is not something that's going to be done anytime soon. This is a very long-term project, but it's something that we have our heart set on, and it's something that actually, it seems kind of fun. Because, I don't know, from my perspective, there really isn't any survival horror MMO, you know, that actually, I don't know how to explain it, but there is no survival horror MMO that actually has that survival mechanic and like the RPG mechanic too. It's either a survival MMO like The Will to Live Online, that's a survival MMO, or there's also we could just go the MMO RPG route like Elder Scroll Online, World of Warcraft, Wizard 101, stuff like that. So you don't really get a good combination of both, which is what we're trying to do. We're trying to get that full survival mechanic. You have to eat, you have to sleep, you have to hydrate. If you use certain spells, they can cause madness. Like if you overuse shadow spells, you can be overtaken by shadows. Everything has their own consequences. Everything has their own weight that you have to decide on. It's very the choices you make will affect the gameplay. Not 100% like a lot of games do advertise, but to a degree, they do. I would say maybe like 50 to 70% of what you do actually might affect the way the game turns out. Um, I could talk about how the game starts. I already have a rough idea. You're entering in from another country on a boat. You make it to the capital, and that's pretty much all I have. You just make it to the capital on a boat and say, "Listen, I'm new here. I'm trying to escape my family name. I'm just trying to make a name for myself." And boom, you're accepted. That's pretty that simple. Um, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I could talk about. I don't think there is. But yeah, the earliest, like I said, quarter one, 2025. Latest quarter three, 2027. Something like that. Um, yeah, I hope this game does come out good. I hope you guys do enjoy it. I hope you like the description I gave. I know I talked a little too much, but I could probably go on for a little bit longer, honestly. But it's just that I really don't know what else to talk about. Did I talk about everything is the question. Talked about dead zoning. Talked about Crusades. Talked about All War. Yeah, I think I've talked about everything. Yep, I've talked about everything. It's gonna be a rated M rated game. Uh, I could probably make it teen, but I'm pushing it. It's almost 100% gonna be rated M, but teen, there's a slight possibility. But yeah, just be on the lookout. I will be posting future updates on this exact matter. Uh, whenever I have more updates, because right now, like I said, we just have the storyboard of like 20 or so pages. Not much, but we got to start somewhere, and this is where I'm starting. Um, expect the update for my short film that I'm actually gonna be directing soon. That won't come out till Christmas ish, New Year's ish, February ish. I don't know, but somewhere in that time frame, expect either the full release, depending on how things go, or an update. It all depends. In the meantime, hit the like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed, because there will be a lot more updates about this. You know, I do game on the channel every now and again too. You know, expect some gameplay. And you know, I hope you guys have a wonderful, amazing rest of the day. And until next time, peace.